Hey guys, it's just Simon here, and today I will be reacting to Storybooth. I survived the war, but we lost my sister, and go subscribe to them because their YouTube channel is great. And I've been watching them for a while already, so let's get started.
Hi, my name is Zara. And I was about 7 years old. My mom was like, hey, maybe we should go to Iraq. I've not seen my family in so long, so maybe we should pay them a visit, and maybe we could stay there for a while. My dad was like, no, are you out of your mind? Like, that's where the war is going on. My mom was like, yeah, well, that's where I was born, that's where I was raised. So my dad family agrees, and me, my mum, and my dad, and my sisters and brothers went there. Everything was fine until I was about 9 years old. I remember it was about 4 a.m. and then I was woken up to the sound of screams and crying, and I was like, what's going on? This isn't right. So I decide to look out my window and I see fire. I see a building on fire. I rush to my mom's room and I grab her by the hand. I'd rush back to my room and I show her the fire. She screamed and she woke everyone up and she was having a panic attack. Soon enough we realised that our city has been attacked. About a few weeks later, we were running low on supplies because we'd been in the house the full time trying to avoid the war. And then my dad was like, okay, we're low in food. We can't live like this. We're going to die in here if we don't get any more. My dad and my sister go out and they go and get food. It was about 4 days since they'd went out to get some food. And my mum and I and my brothers started panicking. Just like something has happened. They are not okay. I just lost all my hope. And I was like, well, there's nothing to do now. So let's just pray to God and see what happens. But then a miracle happened. My dad came back from the house and without my sister, he was just crying and he was really injured.
If one of my sisters didn't come, I've been crying so much.
Without my sister, I've realised why God has taken her up, and I realised that she'll be by my side no matter what. Soon after that, we moved back to England, and now I'm 13 years old, and I live a happy life. Life is good, and just know if you're going through war or anything, it will get better.
Good. Yeah. I would never want that to happen. I mean, if I were her sister, I would like her sister probably got separated from him. But if I was her, I would have been holding on to my dad, to his backpack. Now I'll be watching my scary little sister.
Sometimes I wonder about my little sister. This one time, my mom had asked me to babysit her, so my little sister and I were sitting on the couch, and we were watching a movie. My sister told me she was hungry, and she was 2 at the time, so she just said chopped words like, hungry, hungry, and so I went into the kitchen to make dinner, and then all of a sudden I just hear her scream, a blood-curdling scream. So I drop everything, I run into the living room, and I'm all like, what's wrong, ready to square up with someone trying to hurt my sister. She just looks at me with this psychotic little grin, and then she's like, I got you. 2 years old, they usually just say little chalk sentences, but she said that so clearly. I was a little caught off guard, and, I had just watched some scary movie about this little kid being possessed, so I was a little bit like, what's going on? And I just went back in to finish cooking dinner. Well, then, she just walks in the kitchen, and she said, Annie, and I turned around like, what? She said, there's a man in the hallway.
Wait, It's kind of like blurry
in
there.
the kitchen, and she said, "Danny," and I turned around like, "What?" She said, "There's a man in the hallway." I had never been so scared in my life. I just froze. Like, it was like time slowed down. I ended up just slowly walking into the hallway with a butter knife, because that's all I had. There's no one there. Now, I don't know why I'm believing my little sister, but I'm kind of paranoid at this point, because, I've heard stories about how little kids see ghosts and stuff like that. I was playing with her, and all of a sudden she stopped dead in her tracks and said, "Baby," on the wall. I just was like, okay, whatever. It was about 3 a.m. and I was studying a little bit late, and I heard her crying. I went into her room, and then she said, "The man in the closet." And I did not open the closet, because I've watched enough scary movies to know that, you only do that if you have a death wish. So I just kind of grabbed my sister. I'm like, "Okay, how about you sleep in my room tonight?" She's like, "I want to stay with the man." She is 2. These were the only times she speaks, clearly. When she's saying something weird like that, "Stay with the man." And my parents, they think it's just normal 2-year-old stuff, but one time last week, we were watching Trolls. When they were, put the trolls in, the pots and stuff, she just started laughing sadistically. I have never heard such a psychotic and malicious laugh come from a toddler. And then, spoiler alert, when the trolls escaped and everyone was happy, she just looked so disappointed. I don't know what's up with my sister, but I still love her, though.
I would not want a sister like that, literally, no.
In 6th grade, I got my first real
Right.
pet. He was just a tiny...
Okay.
In the 6th grade, I got my first real pet. He was just a tiny, fragile puppy, and his name was Bodie. Bodie went everywhere with me. We'd go outside, chase tennis balls, go for walks, and play with his favorite thing in the world, puffballs. One time, he got a whole basket full of them for Easter. In the summers, Bodie and I would go swimming and make videos about him saving floating pink princess fairies from alligators. Of course, after all of our swimming, we would always share a popsicle together. In the fall, he would protect us from any trick-or-treaters by viciously barking at them until they ran away. In the winter, we would make igloo homes together. He also loved catching snowballs in the air. He always got covered in snow afterwards, so we would run inside and sit by the fire until we melted back to normal. Bodie was always there for me no matter what. When I'd get sick and be in bed all day, he'd always come and check on me. As soon as I'd get home from school, he'd jump on me and lick my face until I couldn't breathe. Sometimes we get weird looks when I order 2 vanilla milkshakes at Sonic, and the car hop watches me give the other one to Bodie. I mean, it's his favorite. I talk to Bodie like any other human. He's a very smart dog and knows when to run to the car when I say, "Let's go for a ride," and where to hide when I yell, "Do you want a bath?" Today, Bodie is accompanied by 2 other cats, Mitchie and Ollie. Every day, Bodie tells me that they torture him while I'm at school, but I think he's just being overdramatic. He only attaches to certain people and absolutely hates other dogs. Seriously, he may think he's tough, but one day he'll realize he's the size of a skateboard. I'm going away to college in a couple of months, and I'm terrified to leave Bodie. We go everywhere together because we only have a few months left together. We go to Starbucks, get gas at the gas station, even pick up my little sister from school together. He likes smiling at all the little kids. I'm even thinking about taking him to prom with me. I mean, he'd look great in a pink bow tie. When I leave for college, I'm not sure what's going to happen to Bodie. That scares me the most. One time, we were laying in bed, and I thought to myself, what if he gets depressed? What if he doesn't recognize me when I visit? Or what if he runs away and tries to look for me? The anxiety had taken over, and I completely freaked myself out. I looked down at Bodie and tried to tell myself that everything will be okay. He even gave me a reassuring nod before laying his head down to fall asleep. I smiled and closed my eyes, feeling confident that Bodie was going to be just fine. And no matter what happens, we will always be connected, somehow, some way.
I would take my dog to college no matter what. I would do that. Take my dog. Yeah. Just do that, girl. Just do that. I'm gonna watch I Stole a Stick Fish. Is it stick fish? Yeah, it's a stick fish. I stole
Me
a
and my
stick from a
girlfriend were
store.
driving around. We were both very upset about something. I don't remember what it was. And we were both in the mood to do something bad and rebellious. We went to Walmart. A little bit background information. I love fish. I'm majoring in marine biology soon. I had a 10-gallon tank, and I was like, a little light bulb just went off. And the little voice in my head that was telling me not to say what I was about to say was just overpowered, and I said, let's steal a fish. My girlfriend, I call her Bianca, she looks at me, what did you just say? I said, let's steal a fish. She was like, okay. I don't think she thought we were actually going to do it. We get to the fish aisle, and I just see this one single betta fish. He looked so miserable, like his fins were all tattered. He was like just floating on his side, but still like alive. And I was like, oh my god, Bianca, please. And she's like, you know what? Okay, I guess we're stealing the fish. And I'm like,
No.
sweet.
The tower almost fell on me.
I was like, I got an idea. Go over to the other aisle and get a box of tampons. And she was like, why? I was like, just do it. And so she did. So she took all the tampons out
Bleep.
and put them in her purse. Then we took the container that the betta was in. We put it in the box. I've never stolen anything in my life. That was the first time I'd ever stolen something. So I was a nervous wreck. I was like shaking, like, just looking around. And Bianca's telling me to hurry up. And I'm like, okay. We pay for the box of tampons, but not the fish. And we started walking back out to her car. And suddenly she's like, where are my keys? What, you don't have your keys? And she's like, no, I don't. And I'm like, great, amazing, wonderful. And so we go back into Walmart. Now I'm a nervous wreck because I am a felon. I am holding a fish in a box of tampons. And so we're looking for her keys for like 30 minutes. And we finally give up. We were going to go back out to her car to call her parents. And her keys are sitting in her car. And so we both look at each other. And we get in the car, and I take Gilbert, which is what I named my fish, by the way, Gilbert, because the gill, out of the box. And I have never felt so proud of myself in my life. Like, I saved a fish. I felt so morally ambiguous, and that felt so good for some reason. It dawns on me, I did not ask my parents if I could have a fish, and I'm like, what do I do? So we try to get the story straight that a friend gave the fish to me, because at school my name is actually Fish Girl, because I talk about fish a lot. I get home, I don't have the 10-gallon prepared. There's no water in it. I filled a 5-gallon cheese balls container with water and put him in there. So I had to cycle the whole tank for like 6 weeks. And then I put him in, and he's like living the life now. He's got plans, he's got hiding holes, he's got plenty of space. I feed him bloodworms every week. That's the story about how I shoplifted a fish successfully. To this day, I still haven't been caught. Don't follow my example, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Good job, girl. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, subscribe, and see you guys later. Bye.